So today we're going to talk about how to set up RaceJoy for Race Anywhere. These are going to be specifically for virtual 5Ks, half marathons, those types of virtual events. So the first thing you'll want to do is you want to make sure that the RunSignup side of things has been set up properly for virtual results. This means allowing your participants to be able to submit results to RunSignup. So the first thing we want to do is once you've added your virtual event to your RunSignup race, you'll want to make sure that the event type for that virtual event is set to virtual race/challenge. So to do that, you'll head to your race dashboard and go into your race wizard. And under basic info, if you scroll down to your virtual 5K event here, you can see here you'll want to change the type from a run or run walk to a virtual race/challenge. Then you can go ahead and save and continue. The last step before we exit out of the wizard is here in step 2. If you scroll down to the virtual 5K event, you'll just want to make sure you enter in the distance that this particular event's going to be. So if it's a 5K, you can enter in 5K. If it's a half marathon, you can put in 13.1 miles, so on and so forth here. Save and continue, and then we can exit out of the wizard. Set up your registration periods if you haven't already, but in our example, we're going to assume you've already done that. So now we're back into the dashboard, and the final step to making sure the RunSignup side of things is all set up is you'll want to go to Race Day Tools and Virtual Challenge Results, Configure Virtual Results. So this setting here is what allows participants to either manually submit results to RunSignup or allow RaceJoy to automatically submit results to RunSignup. So this needs to be turned on. So you want to select Enable Virtual Results. Put in your accept submission starting and until date. So this is basically saying participants can submit results between, November 26th and November 30th, 2026 in this example. The key thing to remember here too is this accept submission starting and ending date is also going to be the RaceJoy tracking period, which means that during this period, RaceJoy will be turned on and participants will be able to use RaceJoy to track their race virtually. Outside of these periods, so if a participant tries to start their race in RaceJoy on November 15th, 2024, because we're not in that submissions window, they won't be able to track their race in RaceJoy. Next thing you want to do is choose a result set. For the 5K, we're going to create a new result set on RunSignup. This is just going to be a virtual 5K result set. This is not a challenge, so you don't have to turn that on. And here you'll just select specific things that you want your participants to submit. Typically for most virtual races, you'll allow them to submit at a minimum times elevation gain. RaceJoy can certainly track elevation gain, so if you want to have them include that, they can certainly do that. Distance completed or other tallies, this is typically reserved for challenge events. So in our case, this is just a virtual 5K run, so we're not going to include distance. And then here you can kind of customize a little bit more how you want your results to be sorted. Again, typically you can kind of stick with the default of lowest time. If you have an optional custom pre-sort, i.e. before participants submit their results, you can certainly do that. In our case, we'll just stick with none. We're going to sort results by the lowest time. So we'll go ahead and save this. And so now what this allows participants to do is they can go into the RunSignup profile and they can select submit virtual results. If they've run their virtual race on a treadmill, or if maybe they didn't use RaceJoy, they can go ahead and manually submit their result to the RunSignup result set that you just created here. So once you've got the RunSignup side of things all set up, the next step is to go ahead and enable RaceJoy for the virtual event. So as a certified timer, hopefully you guys all know how to enable a race for RaceJoy. All you have to do is go into your Race Day Tools, select RaceJoy, and go to Setup. And we'll go ahead and enable the virtual 5K, enter in the end time, save and continue. And we've already purchased a buyout, so we don't have to go through this step. We can just skip to the course setup page. And so now all you have to do is come down to the virtual 5K, and all you have to do is change the processing type from standard to Race Anywhere. We'll generate markers every 1 mile. So if this is for whatever reason, if you have a virtual like century bike ride, you'll probably want to do generate markers every 5 miles. In our case, this is a running event. It's only a 5K. We'll do every 1 mile. We'll go ahead and save this. And now if you click into the virtual 5K, you can see what we've done automatically is we've generated mile markers every mile. And because we entered in the distance in step 2 of the wizard, RaceJoy knows that this is a 5K, 3.1 miles. And so we've already set up the finish to be 3.1 miles. So everything is automatically set up for you. You don't have to go ahead and change anything at this point. And you can simply come in here and select save. The second you change your course processing type from standard to Race Anywhere, it's automatically certified for you. So for in-person events, you always have to go through your timing configurations and kind of double check everything. And once everything is good, you'll have to manually certify your course. For Race Anywhere events, that's all done automatically once you've switched over the processing type to Race Anywhere. And at this point, the virtual stuff is all set. So it's really setting up the RunSignup virtual results first, and then simply coming into the RaceJoy setup and flipping that processing type from standard to Race Anywhere. And once you do that, that sort of completes your setup for virtual races for RaceJoy.